Hi guys, and happy Saturday. Today is Saturday, August 14th, and we made it through Friday the 13th. Yay! So excited. So it's been a weird week here in Chicagoland. Monday through Thursday, every single night, we were either under a tornado watch or a tornado warning. In fact, a tornado touched down in Sycamore, Illinois, which is about an hour from us on Monday. And then it just, yeah. So then yesterday, after having all the rainy days, Monday through Thursday, then yesterday got really hot, of course. So I'm going to try to do this video fairly quickly because I'm having a lot of problems, with my eczema. When we have all those temperature changes, it tends to wreak havoc on my skin. So between my husband eating breakfast in the other room with the dog and doing this, I'm going to try to go through this fairly quickly. Okay, so the stamps I'm using today and the dies are the Gorgeous Leaves bundle and the Intricate Leaves dies that match. And you can see some of them are missing because we're going to be using them. But this is from our July to December mini catalog. So it's available for purchase now and will be through the end of December. Fun, gorgeous leaves and dies. So for you old timers, and I don't mean old timers as in age, I mean with Stampin' Up. You know, back in the day, my favorite colors for fall were More Mustard, Old Olive, and Really Rust. Those were my go-tos with throwing in Garden Green. Well, you know that we only have Old Olive and Garden Green left out of that combo. More Mustard and Really Rust went bye-bye, and I have just a very few pieces of that cardstock left, as well as, of course, I have the stamp pads and markers. I never get rid of those. But I'm really waiting for a special moment to use those last few pieces of cardstocks that are now probably over 8 to 10 years old. I think that's when they retired. Anyway, I'm going to show you today how to do this card, but how you can also make 4 other card bases with what we've used. So in this, you're going to be using one each of the Cajun Craze, Garden Green, Blackberry Bliss, and Crushed Curry. So those are my new kind of fall colors, because I love Old Olive, don't get me wrong, but somehow the Garden Green just looks a little better with this. Okay, so you're going to use 1 sheet each, or I'm sorry, for this, a half sheet each of these. So you can make 8 of these cards and then 2 of these out of a full sheet of each of those. And then this is just using the Very Vanilla thick cardstock, which I like using the Very Vanilla more so than the basic white thick when I'm using fall cards. I just like it to be a little more muted, I guess. Okay, so enough talking. This is going to be a really long video. I'm sorry. Also, the designer paper we're using is from the July to December mini catalog, and this is called, let me make sure I have the right name, Happy Harvest Meadow. Oh, sorry, don't know if you can see that with the wonderful, but Harvest Meadow. So the ones we're using today are for those that have kind of similar backgroundy colors that match with those cardstocks I'm using. Okay, sorry for that. So the examples, of course, I used half of the sheet of each of the colors. So then here are my bases from the other half of the cardstock. So like I said, you're going to be getting 8 cards out of 4 sheets of cardstock and using just a little bit of your designer paper, so you'll have left. Okay, so these are all 8.5 by 5.5. And we're going to score at 4 1/4, but then we're also going to cut. Let me bring this out. So on all these, we're going to score at 4 1/4. I should have done this beforehand because you guys all know how to score, but just not so much ahead of the game. Like I said, it was a long week, and I'm ready for fall. I'm tired of these hot days, stormy nights. It's just great for the grass, terrible for my skin. Okay, so then what I'm going to decide is how I want my cascading to go. And by cascading, you'll see what I mean in a second. So I think I want it like this. Okay, so my first cut is going to be at 3. Oops, cut, not score. And then you'll have this piece left. I'll show you what we're going to do with that. So then, let me get my bone folder. Oh, I'm out of the frame when you see that. I always line it up in the bottom of this just to make sure that it's straight. And it's a new bone folder, so I have to be careful because I'm getting white shavings. All right, so that was at 3. This cut is going to be at 2. I'm putting them up here to the side, but you can see what I'm doing. This cut's going to be at 1.5. And this cut's going to be at, oh, did I get that one crooked? I don't know if I got that. It might be a little off. And this cut then is at 1. Okay, so see, that's what I call the cascading effect. So what that means is on these scraps here, and let me get out my extra thick vanilla. Let me go ahead and fold that in half. I'm not going to bring the cutter back for that. So I'm just going to fold that back like that. Okay, so then what I like to do is, let me move this a little off the side here. Here is my 4 1/4 mark. So this is going to be the size of the cardstock. I like to figure out what order I'm going to go in. And usually I have the biggest one at the bottom. So I'm going to move this down here, make sure it looks pretty straight. Then I'm going to go to my next one. I'm again using these lines. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me go up here to these lines. Sorry, I forget that my ruler down here you can't see. So this is going to go to the 4 1/4 mark, which is going to be right here. I'm sorry, right here. This is 5 inches. This will be 4 1/4. So I'm going to go there, and then I figure out with my next biggest strip, lining it up on both sides to make sure it's straight. Then we're going to go ahead and tack it down. I don't like using a lot of tape on this, just because I want to make sure I can lay it down before, oh look, the sun went behind the clouds, got a little bit darker. All right, so I'm looking on either side to make sure I'm lined up with those so it looks straight across. Let's see how I'm lining it up here. All right, so then I want to, remember we have to go all the way up to 9 1/4 because that's would be my 4 1/4. So let me go here. Let me tack a little down, and then a longer one along there. Now the thing is, you don't want to push this down really hard because where that tape is, it could get stuck on here. So I'm just going to kind of look and get it lined up with those lines. Bring it up so that doesn't get down. And now I'm going to slide this one under. And this one is going to go at that 4 1/4 mark. And you may have to get out your guillotine. There we go. So there we go. There's my 4 1/4 that we're going to lay on the top of this. Okay, so let's go ahead and use my Stampin' Seal. Some people ask, when you have that many layers, do you want to use your Stampin' Seal Plus? I would say if you want to find but I don't feel the need to, just because, let's see, I want that to be by my spine. I don't feel the need to, just because it's cardstock to cardstock, and even though there's a lot of layers, the Stamp and Seal works just fine with it. So what I like to do is I like to hover over, make sure that I don't see color on that side, and then press down. Now you can see there's a little over there. I'll trim it up with my snips in a bit. But there you have that. Look how pretty. And like I said, we're trimming it off with the snips. Okay, I know this is going really long. I'm so sorry, guys. But I do want to show you one more trick, and then I'll just show you quickly how to put the cards all together. So I think this one I needed to go at least 2 1/4 to cut off. All right, I've had a lot of people ask about the foils, because when you run them through your cut and stamp and emboss machine, it leaves your markings on there from your cutting pads. So this is my trick, and it seems to work well for me. It's going to require a little more push through. It'll feel like, you know, it's really breaking, but I always cut, this is just typing paper, copier paper, whatever you want to call it. And I just put that around the top where that foil is. Now, yes, you are getting another layer through, but it'll cut through fine. It just will be a little bit more, it'll move a little bit more. So let me grab out my baby here. Again, we want to make sure, oh, did you hear that? The baby was weighting down the extra designer paper from that Harvet Meadow. And now it's all on my floor behind me. All right, so I'm going to make sure that that's lined up. Remember, have those a little off center. Don't have them straight. And I'm sorry, but the camera will probably move a lot. As you can see, it's a little bit harder for just a little bit, because you're going through not only the foil now, but you're also going through that typing paper. But I find that typing paper really helps when it's the buffer between there to stop from getting all those scritchy marks. Remember my word, scritchy? Scritchy marks on your foil. So then the other cool thing is when you take it off on this front, when you peel it off, this is where it helps if you have nails, which I do not. Okay. There it comes. So then when you peel this off, I don't throw these away, as you can see. And I don't know if you saw that in the one on the finished card, but I laid it down like so, folded it under, and then just took my finger dauber and did a nice little inside feature. So, you know, that typing paper, copy paper, whatever you want to call it, I don't know what's proper to call it now, is always good to have around. All right, let me go ahead now. Let me find my take your pick tool. It's around here somewhere. There you go. When you do these, you always want to do your take your pick from the back, because you don't want to scratch that foil again. And these usually just pop right out. I just like running it through just to make sure. And there will be a few you might have to poke out on your own. But it's a beautiful die. When isn't leaves beautiful? Well, when you have to rake them, I guess. I wouldn't know. My husband usually does that. So there's just a few that I want to, and I could use my pokey end of my tool too to get those out. I just tend to not use the pokey tool as much with the foil because I'm always afraid of scratching it. Look how beautiful. All right. So then the rest you pretty much got from, here's the example. Here's the main example. Let me put it over here. Let me move all this over. Don't want to lose that die, of course. All right, so then you're going to go ahead and use your multi-purpose glue to put down just a little glue. And you want to be careful with the glue with foil. You don't want a lot, because the foil, if you do get it on there, it will kind of cause it to, you know, tarnish or not be as clear. So on this one, I usually put a couple of little dots here, there, and on this, the heavier part there, and then just one at the very end. That way you'll lay that down. This was using the punch. I don't know which Build-A-Punch this is, but this was a 1/2 inch. Okay. And then the words are from the July to December mini catalog, The Host. This is a special host set you get free if your order is $300. But you have to remember to put that little code on. So there's a lot of great sayings in there. So the one I used was sending this card for no particular reason. And that will go on a 1/4 inch strip and then popped up on that foil again. The backgrounds, we're using these stamps from the Gorgeous Leaves and Versamark. Okay, so you can do that before. Of course, now that this is done, you can always take your typing paper, copier paper, whatever it's called, and just go ahead and stamp. Use this to keep it from going to the next one. Or if you want to continue all the way over, you can. All right, anything else I forgot? I think, oh, and then here's, I have a lot out for this video. Sorry, let me get that out of the way. So then on these, then of course, you're going to use this. You'll lay it down. You'll put tape on this side, push it down, and then there's your flap. And that's how we made all of these cards. I'm not going to show you how to do that. You know how to do that. This video is getting really, really long. But all you're going to do is tape those down. Oh, and if on your designer paper, if you cut it 4 1/4 on your strip, you'll get 2 5 1/2, and then you get this little strip left, which is great to use as an accent on the inside. I think I did it on a couple of them. The others, I don't know, do something on the inside. But that's how, out of a small portion of your designer paper and 4 sheets of cardstock, you can make 8 cards. You're going to have the ones that look like this. And then, I don't know where my other 1, 1, 2 that I just did from here. But then you're also going to have 2 specialty cards. So you have the 8 with the designer paper and 2 specialty. All right, guys, sorry it was so long. Thanks for putting up with my babbling. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. And I might see you tomorrow. If not, it'll be another next weekend when, once again, I finish work for the week and have time to actually stamp. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. And don't forget, fall is right around the corner. Thanks.